Martinez. Hello and welcome to Martinez Fireside Chat. Here we get to know more about our members, what catches their interest and what fills their day.
We should get on with it, I think. Okay, cool.
Yeah, I'm right up for this.
So I've not been seeing much of you because I know you've been working intensively and you've had 3 launches in the last few weeks. Was it 3?
Yeah.
Do you want to talk me through those?
Yeah, so I'll start with Miami. So I'm working with Aston Martin residents, and I think it's my first virtual gallery. It's my first virtual show. So that is the building in Miami is being built. It's designed by Aston Martin, and the gallery doesn't exist at this time, but it's a gallery that will exist. So the room is a room that will one day exist. It's a virtual room, and I've got quite a few pieces in there, and I also done a bespoke piece that was inspired by the building itself. So anyone can see it. You can go online. It's astonmartinresidence.com, and you'll be able to find it. But you can go in the room, take a look around, zoom in, get the details, click to my website. It's my first full digital show, which is stepping into the future.
Right, exactly. So a little segue from that. Then obviously is the thing. So how is it for you dealing with? I suppose I don't know if the material is actually modern, or is it the perception is different? What's changed? Is it the way what people are prepared to take on as being art, or is it
I think with so coming out of the last 2 years, I mean, lots of things have happened with I'm even saying coming out of, but even saying that, I think the numbers of COVID are going back up again. But I think that we have found some kind of normality. And during that time, I think the digital world escalated. I think the wealthiest people, some of the wealthiest people on the planet, including owners of very large tech companies, doubled, quadrupled, and even more their money. So there was a real drive towards attention, economy, e-commerce in the digital space. I think people working from home, people not socializing, people in isolation, they found new ways to communicate, to work, to share, and it's exploded. So I think that you either adapt in that, hence, you're running a private members cocktail bar, and we're talking through digital platform. I think it's great. I think it's a collage or a mix of all of the things. I think the physical space is really, really important, but I think we need to be able to adjust and adopt digital spaces.
I say I'm trying to think how to apply it to hospitality, but hospitality, obviously that's more organic, but I do agree that things have had to change, but and also people's needs and perception have changed in terms of things like, there was a time like a members club was seen as being a bit off kilter and whatnot, isn't the right thing. But now people are really, and this is direct consequence of COVID. People want to be involved. They want to be part of a niche. They want to belong to something. It's quite primal, but that's literally what it seems to be. So in terms of that, so another question I was going to ask you is on my little list there. Progression through 2022, because I know we're going to go back to the other 2 shows as well, by the way, because I know we're just done with one. Do you see so I'm going to say, like the appreciation of a new medium or just new social habits? How does that reflect in terms of what people are actually buying? Not showing an interest in, but what they're actually buying, what they're actually bringing into their homes and living with?
I think one of the things that's exploded within the last 2 years is the possibility and the environment of NFTs, non-fungible tokens, which is being able to buy something that's digital that has been mined. It's not just buying something digital. It's not just a photo that's shared over WhatsApp. It's something that's been mined onto mostly Ethereum. So it's been mined onto a blockchain and been bought with a crypto digital currency. And I think the possibilities with NFT is just through the roof in terms of, you could have an NFT just for a membership, like that could be held in a digital wallet. So when they came to the club, they could use that and show that, and then they're able to enter, and it will give them access to different levels of things. I think it's not just being able to buy digital art. I think it's being explored in new ways with people that have imagination to take it in that direction. I think the possibilities are endless. I think that when our grandparents are spending cryptocurrency and getting an NFT to go on holiday, I think then it really has hit the mainstream, but I think it's still at quite an early infant stage. And that's definitely a brand new market in terms of the digital world in the last 2 years.
I suppose in a way, I mean, the way you describe this, it's just talking a bit more reality. To be honest, on a personal level, I would just sort of see the bits like as the kind of emperor's new clothes, because people have spoken about this thing which you can't physically touch or appreciate. You can't stick on a pedestal next to your bed or whatever else. So it's as you say, people have to put their minds into it. So
I think when I first came into understanding what they were, beginning of last year, I went down the rabbit hole and I really researched what they were, how they're created, how they're sold, what's the market. And then I was just like really spreading it as much as I could. Oh, have you heard of this? Have you heard of this? And I drank the Kool-Aid right at the beginning. But then the question was turned back on me and, well, are you going to make one? And I was like, no, I'm not going to make one. I don't think there's anything interesting in the space at the moment. But I think it's an interesting technology. And I think that it's an interesting place to explore new ideas. But I don't just want to take a photo of my work and say, oh, do you want to buy this? I think that is a new market, but I think that there is a way of adding value to that space, i.e. you can turn it into a competition, you can make it interactive, you can turn it into something that makes something secure. Like if you bought a watch, for example, there's lots of high-end watches out on the market. We can't back catalog because they're out. But if you was to release a new watch, if you released an NFT with that watch, that an NFT is something in the most part can't be changed. So it legitimizes that watch. Now that's a NFT that brings value to that thing, because then you're not going to get reproductions, because if you do get reproduction, if it doesn't have an NFT, there's a good chance that it's not an original piece. So there are ways of using them that add value to it, as opposed to it just being, as you're saying, the emperor new clothes of it's just an image that's worth millions, and an ape or a cyberpunk, or like they're great. People want to collect them, but it's not. I'm not going to be spending millions of pounds on.
No.
Yeah.
Right. I'm going to say, because I mean, the one thing I was just thinking about this in terms of the creation of music, and like the increase or the more powerful use of computers and software, and the dissemination of the ability to make music in your front room and still do it on a par. And I'm seeing NFTs being the way that more people can bring something to the table, which for some reason will take on a value or an importance.
Absolutely.
So
you can sell your music as NFTs. So you could release the piece of music as an NFT. Then you can apply something called a smart contract. So if it's traded thereafter, you can have 0, 10, 20, 30% of every time it's sold. At the point of transaction, that royalty will come to you. It's the first time that if I sell a piece of art, if someone was to sell it on, I wouldn't get anything from that. But if I was to sell a digital piece of art, if it was sold on, I would get a piece of that. And it's the first time it's legitimized that side of things. So it really makes the transaction much cleaner, and it makes it much more honest.
So who actually regulates this and collects whatever you're due?
So I'm not sure the process that it goes through, but as I understand it, so if I was to sell you an NFT, I would have to have it mined. Then I would be able to share it through you purchasing it with a cryptocurrency. So you can't just buy that with fiat or fractional reserve lending money, like you'd have to use a cryptocurrency, and then your NFT would be put into your digital wallet. And then if you went to sell it on, at the point of you receiving that next crypto, it's split before you receive it. So it's split in it, and the percent goes to the original creator, and then the percent comes to you. So it's not something that you have to do. It's something that it's an automatic, it's part of the code of the transaction.
Wow, it just sounds colossal. It just in conception and actual, just the actual engagement of it all. It's just that it seems like,
I think once someone is able to create platforms which make it as simple as, I think what Apple was really good at, Steve Jobs he also took typography. So the way that it's not just designing a computer, the way that you interacted with the computer, i.e. the interface, the way it looked in its simplicity was light years ahead of a PC, a personal computer. So the way that it was laid out, the interface, and it was so easy to use, having a desktop with images and not just lines of code, like just clicking on something and it opened up so I think that when someone's able to the world that we're describing, when someone's able to visually so that we can interact with it with a very simplicity, I think then it's really gonna explode.
Wow, as I said, that's a lot to take on board. But no, you've actually made it sound exciting. So usually I drift off over to it then, okay, there's a lot of stuff going on, and you say the word coding, I go, okay, I've definitely left the building.
No, we don't need to go.
But it's good though, no? And it's saying I'm actually getting the point of the excitement now. Do you know what I mean? So especially to say it can be translated into not just art, but in terms of music, which obviously is another art form, but it's everything, exactly. Wow. So, anything
that's digital, it can be used.
So having said that, the other two products which you've launched as well, they're not digital at all, are they? They're much more kind of physical, like the books, which is obviously I've seen, which look amazing in the gallery.
So I've in 2011 I was inspired by an artist called Chris Ofili. He was one of the Turner Prize winners and part of the YBAs. And he advised me to do a piece of art every single day. And in 2011, I painted on a discarded object or something I was about to throw away, how I felt that day. So it's an abstract painting, how I felt. And then at the end of February, I titled every piece a news headline from that day. So it's a personal, as in the painting, local, as in the object, global, as in the headline, time capsule. So so that was done in 2011, and then in 2015, I took it and had it published. So I photographed it, turned it into a book, and then I had 500 books printed, and then I painted every cover of the book. So that's another 500 paintings. So it's quite an obsession.
That's an obsession. Well, I think that if you do anything extraordinary, you have to be kind of obsessed. So
huge commitment. But then when you look back in 2011, so I don't know if you were able to say, like, roll off what happened in 2013, but in 2011, just looking at the headlines, you've got the tsunami hitting Japan and taking out the nuclear power station. You've got the Tottenham riots. You've got the royal wedding. You've got Gaddafi bin Laden. You've got Obama in power. You've got the Olympic Games stadium being built for 2012 Olympics in London. Like, when you're reading through it, it's just like this. It just recalls the year so quick. Like, it's quite interesting to read as well as look at.
A very individual way of diarising this, that's for sure. Brilliant. So, and then the third launch.
Third one. So I'm working on several other like components. So the last one. So because I haven't really been able to use my gallery the way that I've wanted to in the last 2 years, things were really taking off just before the first lockdown in 2020 March. And then not being able to use my gallery for 4.5 months, then it was off and on for 2 years, and I never really got my momentum. So this year, I had some collage, then I've got my 365 book. now I'm working on my next show is my extinct birds. So I make these macaws out of recycled collage, the same as the 1,000-petal lotus, and that show's about. So the birds are from a book called Extinct Birds from 1907 from Walter Rothschild.
Okay.
And the making those birds, they're beautiful, stunning birds from the Caribbean. But when looking at them, I think for me, it opens up the conversation of humans becoming extinct. Now, I'm not talking about humans as in we're going to be wiped out. I'm talking about humans. Elon Musk is creating a Neuralink, so we're going to have he's creating a chip that goes directly into the brain, so it sends and receives signals.
Wow.
Now, I think that as we know it, humans, we already, if you've got a pacemaker, if you've got a bolt in your knee, if you've got you've already mixed technology with humans. But when you're starting to directly access the brain with chips, I think that humans as we know it will soon, will be either an old school, great version 1, or I think that we're heading into a world which we're not really discussing or talking about, which I think will be probably in our lifetime, humans that will be very much integrated with technology. And I think it's going to be a different world when that happens.
Well, the world's changed so much in the last, the last year's been patterned off for the last 6-7 years, just incredibly unbelievable. This sort of thing, never saw that, didn't see any of this coming,
No.
A plague followed by a world war, seriously. So but that's, as you say, change is evident in every single part of our life, every facet of our lives, when it comes to use of technology, when it becomes access or ability to do things, or possibility things that happen to us. It's not necessarily things that we've got any kind of say so in.
It's happening. It's round the corner.
Wow.
Crazy. Lots of big things to think about.
Yeah, I know, absolutely. I'll sit down and I'll do my own after this and think, okay. That wasn't the light banter I was going for, but I'm really, really glad for it. No, we have to think. We've had enough time thinking of nothing in the last couple of years, so we definitely have to get something. So, having said that and discussed all the 3 latest bits avenues that you're going down, how has Soho been? Because you've got a fantastic gallery there. How's actually been located in Soho? Or does it even affect your work or your work ethos? And what is your work ethos? What what keeps you going? Is it, I don't know, I'm going to put words in your mouth now.
No. Soho to me is still one of the most creative hubs in the world. I think either being fully immersed in nature or being in central London, I love both worlds. I'm not just a city person and that's it. I even saw, seeing you take off and going to Wales, and
I'm off again this weekend.
I'm going in a couple of weeks as well. I'm down at the moment. I'm down in Hampshire, so I'm not even in London. I'm with my dad, and we're just
fantastic. And for anyone that's watching this part of the podcast, this is a fireside chat, but it's obviously not the Martinez fireplace. This is my home fireplace, because obviously Robbie's got commitments down in Hampshire and I'm here in London, so I made the most of it.
Absolutely. I think promoting nightlife in London and promoting getting out in the country, I think they're both extremely valid.
Absolutely. I mean, things like, I'm obviously I've been in nightlife for a long time, but I've moved kind of further towards daylight, so I'm not I do daylight at the beginning of the evening rather than the end of it, which gives my brain time to do other things like the music and whatever else, so it's great. So I'm promoting nightlife. I'm also promoting evening life, which I think is a bit more kind of cultural in terms of conversation and the kind of people who are out and about at that time, rather than the people and trust me, I've been one of those people for a long time who are out at early doors, or late doors, early doors, whichever one you want to call it.
I think, I think that's a good thing to promote, but all ends of the spectrum. And working in Soho for me, it's the last 2 years have been tough. That's me being straight, it's been tough. I didn't stop. I never stopped. My workflow slowed right down. My production didn't. I was still as busy as ever doing what I was doing. But there was a few casualties. A lot of businesses got taken out. There's a lot of shops that shut. There's a lot of things that closed.
Yeah.
And those that have been hanging on, I tilt my hat to them. I feel, I've been through the journey with them. And I'm as motivated as ever. One of the things that happened to me was during COVID, I drank a lot of alcohol, and beginning of this year, not for dry Jan or anything like that, 3rd of Jan, I just stopped drinking alcohol. I mostly drink water, and I'm not someone that's promoting not drinking. I'm not that. I'm not someone like, don't go out. I'm not that. Like, I still love going out. And by the way, the best mocktail that I've had is in the Martinez bar.
Was it the No Amaretto Sour? Is it the one I think you were drinking?
Oh my God, that drink is delicious. Seriously.
It really is. Seriously, I know.
It's a really good drink.
It's one of my vices there. It's not even a vice because it's non-alcoholic. It's fantastic.
Yeah, it's a non-alcoholic
Absolutely.
Cocktail. It's delicious. And it's the best one that I've had. So Martinez, I salute you.
Brilliant.
And I think since I've done that, I'm really into cold therapy. So I take 2 cold baths at the weekend.
Okay.
And I take cold showers Monday to Friday.
Right.
And I've meditated for 23 years. And I've given up, or I try to eat less meat during the week. So I'm not vegetarian or vegan. I just eat meat at the weekends. And just this change in my lifestyle habits, the clarity, the focus, the manifestation is off the chart. It's like now I'm really, really clear about what I want to do. And it's just really like coming together, like, I wouldn't say effortlessly, but certainly, like, I wake up at 7 o'clock. Like this morning, we were up at 6 o'clock this morning. That's not like, I wouldn't be like voluntary getting up at 6 o'clock. Now I'm like 7 o'clock and I'm wide awake, and I'm getting out of bed between 7 and 8, and I can't, and I'm talking Saturday and Sunday. I can't even stay in bed. I'm like, I want to get up. So,
I totally understand that, because I had my period obviously when I wasn't drinking, and definitely I don't drink so much now, but definitely it's a whole other ball game. You wake up with, there's not that sluggishness in the morning, and like I said to you, my thing is that, but when giving up alcohol, that was a conscious decision because I wanted to do more with my brain during the daytime because I was doing studies and whatever else. But I like the taste of alcohol. I don't pretend not to. Seriously, it's one of those things that I'm not gagging for it all day long, but I do like the taste of it. Period.
And for the record, I'm not anti. I
got that.
Certain wine that I would absolutely, maybe on my birthday I'll be reaching for that. Like I love the taste of it. I love I had a good relationship with alcohol.
Exactly.
I have a good relationship.
I have a good relationship without. The thing is, having a good relationship doesn't mean you've got to be into that relationship all the time. No. That's something which you can take and leave.
Absolutely. I agree. Absolutely.
Brilliant, excellent. So Soho, obviously, more life's coming to it. You've got some great neighbours I see down the alleyway down there and whatever else. There's always something going on as well. So it's like next generation. But the thing is, I kind of say next generation, but I kind of think it's just that next generation incorporates both young and not so young.
Yeah.
So so definitely, because it's definitely a case of everyone's kind of coming out of this last 2 years of nonsense and everything being on hold, literally on hold. And it's like, I'm not handing the baton over to anybody anytime soon. so things are just getting good again. Hello, excuse me.
Yeah. What do you think? Do you think Soho? Do you feel there's a change?
It's changed, and it's. Obviously the al fresco thing that was going on when people started coming back, and that wasn't really representation of Soho. It was representation of a generation that really needed to get out and party any old place. So it kind of because I've been hanging around Soho a hell of a long time. So to me, it's kind of, a lot of things a bit out of kilter, but it's kind of sinking back into it again. There's still days when I say the silence in Old Compton Street is so loud, because it's just like, you can't hear traffic, you can't hear people talking, there are no foreign accents, there's no random shouting across, which already would irritate me, but I actually kind of miss, just like, but it's coming back bit by bit, so it's, we need that kind of, that little maverick hub in the middle of town. We need that sort of thing to be going on. So I'm just enjoying seeing people back again, seeing faces again, people learning how to behave around each other, because people kind of lost their kind of their banter and their social, how to do things socially, because everyone's been entertaining in their kitchen, their gardens for the last 2 years. But and for those who believe that's a real thing that's going to stay forever, really good luck at that. A lot of people saying, "Oh, I don't have to come into town." You know what I mean? No, I have a great time at my place. I mean, whoop. I'm sure you do. It's nice to have the options. That's one thing that COVID has given us, is options. We've all broken the mold of having to be in certain places, having to do certain things, and not giving ourselves enough time, not being kind to ourselves. So COVID, for all its vulgarity, basically has given us some really good things as well.
Absolutely.
That's the way I see it as well.
So
I'm expected to see much more of you in this next year. I'm looking forward to seeing much more of what you're coming out with and working. It sounds like you got to a fantastic start for 2022. Seriously, we're into April already almost. Wow.
Yeah, I know. Can you believe that? That's crazy, isn't it? Yeah, I think
okay, is it you? I thought it was me.
Yeah, it was me. My daughter.
Oh, that's all right. Bless, brilliant, excellent. So when are you back into Soho?
So I'm back tomorrow. I'm coming back in tomorrow. I've got so much to do. I'm really excited about this year. Like, I know that there's we've just come out of a pandemic. I know that there's a war on, but on the most part, like, I'm just remaining in a really positive space, and just really focused on like multiple things, and just very excited to just be getting on with it.
Really excellent, fantastic.
Positive mental attitude, or positive mental like thoughts, and that
Absolutely.
really like if you can study the brain and work out how it works, and just like figure out, like, that to me is just like an ABC. Like, put nutrition in your body, like get some sleep, like so much happens. And you can do that and party as well, for the record. Like, it's not like you have to be a monk and go clean. It's
that's never gonna happen on here. Exactly.
No, balance.
Yeah, absolutely. Brilliant. Okay, well, love, listen, I'm going to thank you and let you get back to your bits and pieces, and I really look forward to seeing you back in Soho. And it's always a pleasure spending time with you and talking with you.
Always. Yeah,
exactly. So
always nice to have a big hug and kiss.
You know it, absolutely. And for those people that haven't experienced it, you're so unlucky. I'm the lucky
and that's
one.
I'm talking about from you.
So two ways. But your energy is always fantastic. The attitude. I love talking to you and with you. It's all brilliant. Okay, wonderful. So thank you for being my second, actually, because Aisha McKenzie was my very first podcast, and you're my second. So so as I said, next time hopefully we might do by Martinez Fireplace itself. But listen, I've got this stunt double for now.
Absolutely.
And so
I think it's important for me to finish on, you have created such an incredible space in Soho, and you've done that very quickly and with ease. And that room is a very, very special room in terms of, like, if you want to just sit down, if you want to be by a fire, if you want to meet some new people, if you want some interesting drinks, if you want, like, it's just an incredible thing that you've done. And I really respect that. And I really want to actually acknowledge and help you promote that. So Martinez, in the heart of Soho. Well done. Congratulations. Everyone should be getting down there.
Okay, wonderful, brilliant, perfect. See you all down here. Sit down there and say, not my house. That's you.
I'm on my way.
Yeah, come over to my house. Well, I do kind of treat Martinez like my house, but I have to admit. Brilliant. Okay. So I'll listen. Speak to you very soon. All the very best. Safe travel back to London. Okay.
Lots of love. Speak to you.
Take care. Bye.
Bye. Bye.
Bye.
Bye.
It's so easy. So that was Robi Walters, and as you can see, amazing man to talk to, full of humility and positivity, and very generous soul. And I look forward to sharing more time with him in Soho and Martinez, and with you as well. Okay, thank you very much for your time. Lots of love.